Welcome everyone to this question and answer session with David Miller and a few members of the Group of 40. David K. Miller is the founder and director of the Group of 40 Worldwide Meditation Group. David channels the Arcturians and is the author of the wonderful book, Connecting with the Arcturians. The book provides an Arcturian perspective and guidance to help us integrate the higher dimensional energies for both personal and planetary ascension. My name is Christine, and I will go ahead and ask the first question. What is the Arcturians' mission, and how does it relate to the spiritual and dimensional transformation of the planet and the whole human race? Could you please elaborate?
The Arcturian mission is to help prepare the Earth for interacting and connecting with the fifth dimension. This is a major transition that will bring the Earth into her next evolutionary stage. The further mission is to prepare people for the ascension. The ascension is the transcendence of higher star seeds into the fifth dimension. The ascension then skips over the death process and allows you to enter the fifth dimension directly from this earth body. The Arcturians are helping to prepare us then for our next evolutionary step. And this is a spiritual step that entails our embracing and connecting directly with the fifth dimension.
Henry, you have a question, I believe.
Yes, I do. How can we help the planet connect with the Arcturian energy, and how can the human race participate in this transformation?
The first way we can connect with the Arcturian energy is to open our crown chakras to fifth dimensional energy and light. The second way is to work with sacred places around the planet. The Arcturians have designated, in particular, 12 energy power points around the planet that they call the etheric crystals. They have downloaded fifth dimensional energetic etheric crystals into these beautiful places, such as Mount Shasta and Lago Puelo in Argentina. Finally, we are asking that people open themselves up to receiving the light and information from the Arcturians. Many of the star seeds around the planet are having direct experiences of receiving energy, instructions, and light from them. So this will help the human race transform because it will accelerate our evolution, that is the evolution of the human race, into its next and most powerful stage of expanded consciousness.
Do you have a question, Corey?
Yes, thank you, David. In chapter 16, Chief Buffalo Heart says, when the white man learns to treat the earth as natives, we can achieve planetary healing. Could you speak more about this, please?
The Arcturians talk directly about uniting planetary healing activities with the native peoples. And the reason why is because the native peoples have special knowledge and abilities to interact with the spirit of the earth. The spirit of the earth, as you know, is called Gaia. The native peoples have a long history of conducting ceremonies and healing activities with the earth. Now it is important for the planetary healing that we embrace and work closely with the native people and work together in doing planetary healing ceremonies. It is vitally important at this time that we all acknowledge that the earth is a sacred planet and that her balance must be protected, her sacred areas must be protected, her environment, the oceans and the forests must be protected, and also that we form a strong, personal, and dynamic healing relationship with the earth. And the native peoples already have the knowledge and abilities to help us do that.
Pam, do you have a question?
I do, thank you. David, the unification of heart energy with mental energy is uniquely available on this planet as humans extend our heart energy out to the galaxy. Opening the heart could be the key to unlocking higher consciousness. Do you think that Earth has reached a unification of heart energy with mental, emotional energy that the Arcturians often refer to?
Actually, I don't think that we have achieved that unification of the heart energy. We still, as a planet, do not feel the pain and suffering that is going on throughout the planet. I mean that the people in power, in particular, don't seem to receive and feel this heart energy. However, we are moving towards a time when everyone is going to open up and feel the pain of this planet, the potential pain of the collapse of major life forms, of oceans, and of other biodiversity that is in danger of dying off. So it is absolutely true that we must open up our hearts to unlock higher consciousness. And we are moving into this next evolutionary step where the heart energy, the heart chakra, is going to be open, and we're all going to feel what perhaps can be described as a unified energy field for the whole planet. But I see this as an evolutionary step, and the unification of the heart energy with the mental energy will lead to actions. It will lead to events that will quickly turn around the crisis that is now appearing and that we are now experiencing on this planet. This crisis has already been designated by some scientists as the sixth extinction, planetary extinction right now. So when we open up our hearts to the pain and suffering of all that are experiencing this extinction, then we will be very close to this expanded consciousness.
Thank you, David. And I think the viewers would like to see the images from the book. And now to Paresh.
Yes, thank you, Christine. In chapter 13, Giuliano mentions the importance that many star seeds that ascend need to come back to help the Earth. He mentions the number of 144,000 ascended masters that are needed to help to move the Earth from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. In which way are they coming back?
Well, the Arcturians say that we need a core group that has the power to magnify and to heal the light and to heal and rebalance the Earth. And this core has often been referred to as 144,000 ascended masters. And the idea is that these people have the energy, have the mental energy, have the spiritual energy, and they have the expanded consciousness to complete this task of planetary transformation. Now, how are they going to come back? Some are going to come back directly in reincarnation. Some are going to come back as ascended masters where they don't go through the incarnational cycle, but rather they appear. We have had examples of people appearing on the Earth in their ascended form. One example would be the form that Jesus appeared in after he was resurrected. And this is a primary example of how an ascended master appears on the Earth. They die, and then they go into another realm, and then they come back in the fifth dimensional body, but they haven't gone through the death experience. So let me clarify this. Jesus did go through the death experience, but the ascended masters who are going to return often are going to ascend directly and go into their fifth dimension and then return without going through the death experience the way Jesus did. So the 144,000 ascended masters then are a core group who are going to be able to exert powerful spiritual energy to transform this planet. And I want to mention that it is important that we work and understand the necessity for the strong spiritual light to change the densities that we are all now experiencing on this planet. And therefore, that is why Juliana refers to the 144,000 ascended masters.
Thank you.
Thank you. Henry, I understand you have a question relating to the sacred triangle. And we also have a beautiful image of this sacred triangle to show.
Yes, in chapter 16 of the book, Katumi says, Earth is destined to enter the fifth dimensional realm by accomplishing the unification of the three sacred triangle energies. What is meant by the sacred triangle energies, please?
The sacred triangle energies is a new paradigm that Giuliano helped to create. And it is the unification of the native people's spiritual light, the galactic spiritual light, and the sacred white brotherhood, white sisterhood spiritual light that is combined and found in all of the basic core mystical traditions of our religions throughout the planet. And Giuliano is saying that we must unite these forces because each force has a particular gift, a particular healing energy to give in this fantastic and comprehensive process known as the planetary healing of the third dimensional Earth. So what I am suggesting, what Giuliano is suggesting, is that this sacred triangle energy can provide a new spiritual paradigm for planetary healing.
Thank you. Pam, I believe you have another question?
I do, thank you. David, how can the starseeds help the native and indigenous people to carry their powerful light frequencies that have been entrusted to them by Creator? Will the GOF members perform biorelativity meditations with the native peoples, and will we benefit from that?
The idea is this: the native peoples hold truths, spiritual practices and skills for directly communicating with the earth. These skills are vital in this time of great planetary change. They have many different ceremonies. They have many different techniques, such as the medicine wheel. And the indigenous people often don't have the power, they don't have the access to the worldwide global systems, but the starseeds themselves have this ability and have this power. The starseeds themselves know how to promote, how to connect globally. And therefore, the Group of 40 is working to include the native peoples in our planetary healing work. And we are seeking to bring in native peoples in our exercises, in our global meditations, in our global webinars. And we are always looking for ways of improving and empowering the natives. And I want to emphasize that we're just not talking about the American Native Indians, but we're talking about the natives in South America and other parts of the world, even in Australia, and the Aboriginals. So you see, all of the native peoples have this inherent power and ability that we need in order to complete the biorelativity. And remember, biorelativity is a meditation technique in which we telepathically connect with the spirit of the earth and help to improve its feedback mechanism so that the Earth can maintain these new balances.
Thank you. And now back to you, Pravesh.
Yes, thank you, Christine. This is a question about the Stargate. How can we prepare to go through the Stargate at the moment of ascension? To go to the Crystal Temple for meditation and the healing chamber to raise our frequencies is enough?
The preparation for the Stargate involves completing all of your Earth lessons. The idea of the Stargate is that this is the final transition point that marks your completion of all of your Earth incarnations. Therefore, all the Earth lessons are done. You no longer have any attachments to the Earth and no longer have the desire to return to the Earth. The Stargate provides you a transitional doorway where you are finished with the Earth lessons and incarnations and enter the fifth dimension. So the best way to prepare for entry into the Stargate is to accelerate and complete your life lessons on the Earth. Now, there are other specific exercises for this transition. It includes practicing entering your fifth dimensional body. The Arcturians have provided special meditation points on the fifth dimension. One of these is called the Crystal Temple. And the Crystal Temple has many fifth dimensional bodies of the starseeds on the Earth, and you can practice transitioning or bilocating your body into the fifth dimension and becoming aware that we are multidimensional. I think this is another key to preparing for entering the Stargate. Finally, we have a particular exercise that the Arcturians talk about, which is called shimmering. Shimmering is the acceleration of your aura to a high speed, which allows you to transform and transcend your physical body and be able to astrally travel, spiritually travel into other realms. This is a very good practice. And all sacred exercises, all meditations in which you realize that this body, this third dimensional body, is a coat, and you're going to take this coat off when you're ready to ascend and enter the Stargate and go into the fifth dimension. So any exercise that you can do, any meditation that you can do that helps you to identify with your other higher aspects of self, your fifth dimensional bodies, is going to be helpful. And also practicing leaving the body, leaving this coat behind, and going into the higher realms.
And now, if I may, I would like to ask the last question. Chapter 15 is entitled 40 Groups of 40. What is the significance of the number 40 and 40 groups of 40 for planetary and personal ascension?
Well, 40 is a powerful number throughout the history of this civilization. The concept of 40 days, 40 nights is mentioned in the New Testament and talking about Jesus being in the desert. 40 years in the desert is mentioned by the descriptions of Moses and the children of Israel in the desert. And 40 is a powerful number in general because of its universal galactic significance. The idea then is that the 40 people working together have a quantum ability to multiply their spiritual powers far beyond what they are individually, or even where 38 people are. When you go into 40, it's like a increase of spiritual power. And 40 groups of 40 are even more powerful because, again, you're multiplying the 40 by an increased factor. So I want to emphasize that we are looking for ways for small groups to have a powerful effect. throughout history, you know, there are many examples of peoples who are small in number, but yet have had an effect on the whole planet far beyond what their small number would be equivalent to. So this idea of 40 groups of 40 is telling us that if we are able to organize and get 40 people together in one group and then get 40 groups like this, the power of our ability to spiritually intervene in this planet will be dramatic. And this is a great benefit and resource for the healing and the transformation of Earth into the fifth dimension.
Thank you very much, David, and Pam, Corey, Pravesh, and Henry, for this fascinating question and answer session. I would just like to say that every time I read Connecting with the Arcturians, it is always fresh, and each time I discover new and valuable information. I understand that a new edition is now being published. Could you say where people could purchase this book?
Yes, this new edition is published through my publisher, Connecting with the Arcturians. This is the 4th printing of this book. And you could go to their website, lighttechnology.com, and look for the book, or you could go on Amazon.com and put in my name, David K. Miller, and you will come up with this book, Connecting with the Arcturians, or you can go to my website, www.groupof40, that's GROUPOFFORTY.com. And then in my store, you can see the link for purchasing this book. The book is also available at all major bookstores throughout the country.
Thank you again, David. And how can you be contacted for more information about the Group of 40?
Well, we need people to join and help us to increase our spiritual power. And you can reach me directly through the website, www.groupof40.com, or write to me at my email address, David Miller, one word, David Miller at groupof40.com.
Thank you.